most villainous, we have a fantastic panel for you today. Here to take your Q&A for the entire panel, we have the Vorta, part of the Dominion. They are diplomats for the founders. They are the clones we love to hate. Give it up for Molly Hagan as Eris. She played Dahlia on Voyager and Kaitlin on Deep Space Nine, Kaitlin Hopkins. She wrote the Matoran Rosan and the Vorta Luaran, Kitty Swink. And you know and love and hate him as Shran, Runt, and Wayu. Give it up for Jeffrey Combs. Get ready for Edith.
The founders would be pleased.
First of all, how are you all? Having a fantastic con?
Yes.
Yes. I'll just say to start, it takes a special skill to have an audience love to hate you rather than just to hate you. And so I'd love to hear some of that in some of your answers about how you found in your characters a likability despite the hateability, which I think all of you did. And I am just excited to hear what our audience has to ask you today.
No, wait a minute. We're not evil. We're misunderstood.
Yes.
Oh,
completely
right.
wrong.
Of course.
We don't agree with this assessment at all.
Of
I'm
course,
sorry, this is
I
like
do
the most
that.
important one to be. Are we gonna, okay.
All right, let's get right on into it. I'm extremely intrigued to hear the questions that are ahead for you. Over here. Tell us your name and your question.
Hi, my name is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
I run a Discord server that is solely focused on the Vorta fandom, so it's an honor to meet you guys. My question is, do you ever go online and look at fan art or read fan fiction of your characters?
No, please don't.
Movie fan fiction. No, I mean, I've seen some lovely illustrations, and I really appreciate them. You know, the Vorta are beautiful, graceful people. We welcome you with welcoming arms, and we mean you no harm at all.
Yeah, right.
No. I've seen, I saw a wonderful video game where Keelana was a character in the video game, and I was so excited. And my students at Texas State University were so impressed. Anyone from Texas?
Woo!
I live in San Marcos because I run the musical theater program at Texas State University. Go Bobcats! No. I'm a bad improv artist, no.
But let me say, we really appreciate you keeping the flame lit by continuing to show your enthusiasm for really one of the races in the multiverse.
Yes, Jeffrey.
Should I tell my Jeff Combs story?
Oh,
Yes.
I ran into Jeff the day I was going to audition because I'd been a Bajoran, but I ran into Jeff that day and I said, Jeff, do you have any words of wisdom about auditioning for a Vorta? And he said, yes, be obsequious and be evil. And do this with your eyes. And I booked the job.
You're just misunderstood.
That's right.
All right, thank you for that. Over here.
Hi, my question is for Jeff. Your characters throughout your whole career, actually, from like Herbert West and Wayoon and Shran and Brunt, they're all so different, and you like inhabit them so like perfectly. Like, how do you prep for your characters?
With a lot of help from all of the design elements, frankly. You can't alter yourself to that degree without a lot of help. You know, what you wear, what you have on your feet, what reflects back to you in the mirror, sort of. You know, you have to realize, like when I first did the Vorta, I really didn't have a good visual of what they looked like. This was before YouTube and the internet. It was kind of, they'd been there before, but I'd never seen an episode. There was no way to really even go to the video store and rent them, as I recall. So, yeah, you know, I show up at 3:30 in the morning. I've got the script, I've got the words, but I don't have a visual. So it was pretty kind of seat of your pants. You just kind of look in the mirror in the 15 minutes you have after you're done, and they call you to block and make some quick, fast decisions. But you can do that because of what people have put you in. It really helps you. And so, I don't know, we're all from the theater, and like I said backstage, you were taught in the theater to be as diverse as you could, because that's how you would survive. And kind of like a musician that can play different instruments, I suppose. And you'll work more. So my training helped. And you know, we're all just test pilots, I think. Here, see if that flies. Okay.
Well put. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. How about over here?
Mr. Combs, I'm a very, very, very big fan, and I just want to know if it's true that you actually sleep with your antenna. You know, when you go to those blue things that were on top of your head, you actually sleep with them? I will go sit down and let you answer the question.
Okay. Yes, I do sleep with them, and it's difficult because they fight about who gets me tonight. So, because there's two of them, right? Okay. Anyway, that's a joke. But no, I don't sleep with my antenna. They actually were quite. I'm sure all of these lovely women would agree. They were kind of odd to have on. You can hear the gearbox back here on the back of your head when they move. Sorry, that's a Vorta. See, I'm confused. That's an Andorian. But the contact lenses were the hard part. I think we all agree with that.
The contact lenses were.
They fortunately got to a point where I was piggybacking, because I wear contacts to see, and then I'd have to put color contacts in for the characters. So that was a lot of fun. Until they realized I'd be coming back more and more, and then they made my prescription painted. So it was a whole new world for me.
I just want to say I cannot wait for the fanfic about Jeff Combs and his antenna. Ready, set, go. We'll be reading that online tomorrow.
Yeah, I get confused. Sorry.
Can't wait. All right, thank you so much. Who's next? Over here. Tell me your name and your question.
The name is Shlomo, and I just wanted to ask a question for you about the Vorta species, because I figured you'd have a unique insight on it. I think they're genetically engineered, almost perfect, smart, intelligent, they have superior hearing, they're practically immortal. But why make them have inferior eyesight and a lack of color perception? I mean, not that they have normal, they actually have inferior. Why would that make any sense?
I don't think that they have color deficiency, okay? I think what they lack is a sense of aesthetic, artistry. They've been engineered to the point where they've been zeroed in on just being loyal, obsequious, diplomats, welcoming, a friendly face for a not so friendly founders. So they can't even help it who they are. That's the way I look at it. They can't be bad because it's out of their ability to be that way. It's all been taken away from them. They have no control. They have been genetically changed to the point that they are just servants to a higher force.
But initially, like every single quality you mentioned, that wasn't the first Vorta. They didn't give me any of that information.
Yes.
And then subsequently, like the, you know, the, whatever, what do you call it? When you have the ability to move objects.
Yes.
What is that, what is that called?
Telekinesis?
Yeah, telekinesis. Like that telekinetic power went away. There was a lot of stuff that I wasn't privy to at all, and I think they developed it after that.
I was amazed when I recently saw that episode with the telekineticity. Oh.
Careful, careful. Don't hurt yourself.
He's going to be insufferable for that.
I went,
It's gonna be a long day, y'all.
Gonna be?
I just went, I didn't know I could do that. Where'd that go? I want that. You know, they took that one away.
How about you, Kaitlin and Kitty? Do you want to weigh in on being loyal and obsequious?
Yes?
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Kitty.
To answer your question, I think everybody has a flaw, and that's ours.
Yes.
Because I like to think that we were just doing our job other than that, so.
Yeah, I agree with Kitty. And one of the things I loved about the ship episode, I thought that script was so beautifully written, that negotiation between the captain and Keelana. But I really agree with that. You know, we all have a flaw, but like my job was to go, and I was a negotiator, right? I was the fixer. You know, you go in to fix it. And yeah, that was well said. Thank you.
I don't know, have an answer for the weak eyes. Casey Biggs and I were talking about this. We find things out when we read the script. What do you mean I have weak eyes and good ears? I didn't know that. I would have played that scene differently 2 episodes ago if I'd have known that, you know? So we're finding these things out as we go along.
It's the nature of television, really.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise to us. But I did love that they have absolutely no aesthetic assessment. They cannot tell because it's been seeped out of them by those who control them.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shlomo. How about over here? What's your name and your question?
Hi, my name's Angel, and I want to ask sort of like the inverse of one of the previous questions, which is, and originally I was thinking of just asking this to Jeff, but I think this applies to everyone on the panel, is you're all actors who've probably played many different kinds of characters in your career. But like even when playing all these different kinds of characters, an actor is always going to bring some part of themselves to the character. So what do you think is like the quintessence of yourself that shows through in all the different characters you play? Despite how different the characters that would be, what's the part of yourself that comes through in every character that you play?
Great question.
I would say for me a sense of humor.
I would say for me, maybe vulnerability, no matter what kind of I am. There's always a little something, like,
No matter what kind of...
that's so bad, oh, I feel sorry for her, she's kind of a bit.
No matter what kind of what? Okay.
It's sort of interesting because I'm like the happiest married woman in America. God bless Armin Shimmerman wherever he is. I'm lonely. There's some piece of me that always feels lonely.
Commitment. I just commit. You know, it's kind of like, there comes a point where you have to stop thinking and you just have to do. I mean, acting is an active act, do. And so at some point you have to mull it and think about it, and then you just kind of have to say, jump. So commitment, that would be any actor has to do that, right? There comes a point where you go, all right.
Here we go. Jump in.
Renee used to say, step into the void.
Step into the void.
Great
It'll be
answer.
okay.
Thank you so much. All right, over here. What's your name and your question?
My name's Robert. I'm from San Diego. It's my first convention. I want to say to all of you, first of all, thanks for being here. And Vortas have been my favorite. You all have done a great job. My question is for Jeffrey, however, since you have done so many characters, my first part is, are there any characters you auditioned for that you did not get? And number two, now that you've seen the series, are there any that you wish you had auditioned for and reimagined or, you know, acted differently than that original actor?
That's a two-part question. Yes and no. The yes is, believe it or not, about a year or so before I ever played Wei Yun, may have been longer than that, I auditioned for a Vorta. And I didn't get it. And scene. No, it came down between me and Dennis Christopher. And you know, I remember my agent calling and saying, you know, that's it. It's between you two. I'll let you know. And you know, we all get this call. They decided to go another way, and so I didn't get it. And I went, well, okay, then fine. Whatever a Vorta is, I guess I just didn't get the gig. Well, the universe has a way of kind of, you know.
And we wish Iggy Pop could have been here too to join you on stage as a fellow Vorta.
How about Christopher Shea? He was wonderful.
So much, thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much, Jeff. How about over here? What's your name and your question?
My name is Terry. I was wondering about the antenna that you had on when you were in Andorian. And you mentioned something about wearing a box behind your neck. I was just wondering if you had any control over it, or the antenna just kind of moved on their own whenever.
I don't know what you're talking about, a box. It was acting. It was all acting. Okay, see, this is why I get confused, because now they're talking about antennas with the Andorians, and this is a Vorta panel, so hence my confusion before. What's new? No, they were. There's a guy who designed those. Yes, there was a little gearbox in the back of my skull. He's called a puppeteer. And he and I would talk about what would happen and how they would move when and in what direction, considering what was going on. So, you know, it was a wonderful special effect that was really riveting to me.
So he controlled it?
He controlled it, yes. But we would discuss and figure out when he would move. Too much is too much, so you have to be very careful with it. Otherwise, it looks a little cartoony.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Over here, what's your name and your question?
My name is Jay, and I actually have a question for Molly, if I may, but I'd like to shift gears. Congratulations on Walker being picked up for a second season.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really super happy.
Yes, and I'm very proud of you and the entire cast and crew. I'd like to ask for your character as Abilene, what decisions you made in creating your character, and what can we potentially expect from your character this coming second season?
I actually don't make a lot of choices. I get really informed by the script, and what gets revealed in the script, those are all my clues are in the script. And I just felt like when I auditioned for it originally that I was like, oh my God, this is like my mom. And so I feel like I'm doing homage to my mom in a lot of ways. I don't know what's gonna happen the second season. The writer's room is up and running now. We start shooting September 1st, but I haven't seen the first. So, and they keep saying, you're gonna love it. And I'm like, okay, but I have actually no idea. And the ending of, like, I didn't see the finale, which was last night or whatever, but I vaguely remember what happens in the end, and I'm like, what is that? And the writers don't tell us.
We're always the last to know.
Thank you, Jay. Over here, what's your name and your question? Oh, Jordan, what's your question?
Hi, good to see you guys. So in Deep Space Nine, you know, we had Quark's holosuite and things like that. So I'm curious for each of you personally, if you had a holodeck, where and when would you want to explore?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I used to do Renaissance fairs, so probably.
That's funny, because I would have said I want to go to the Globe and see the plays in Elizabethan times.
I would be Jeffrey's date.
You'd be my date.
Yes.
You can all come. Would you like all of you like to?
I'll go with
Sure,
you. Sure,
because,
yeah.
you know, Armin would be giving them notes.
Yes. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Good question.
We're good? All right. Thanks so much, Jordan. Over here.
Wait, I want to be clear. I wouldn't want to be, I was a beggar at Renaissance fairs. If I had to go back in time, I would want to be very, very wealthy. I just want to be clear. Everyone romanticizes the past. It was awful.
Yes.
Unless you were really wealthy, I would want to be really wealthy if I dropped into the past. Okay.
And that has sort of come around again, hasn't it?
Well, there is that.
Thanks so much, guys. Over here, what's your name and your question?
Hi, my name is Joanna, and my question is for Mr. Jeffrey Combs. Mr. Combs, in reference to the Vorta's sense of loyalty and discipline, I have a question. My question is, Wayun 6 defected though, didn't he?
Yes, because he was defective. Not to us. To us, you see him and you think, well, aren't the Vorta lovely people? But not to the founders. They thought that was really, really bad and to be destroyed, which is pretty dramatic if you think about it. It's a shame because you saw with Wayun 6 the potential of them being a good neighbor in the universe if they had had a chance. He wasn't defective at all. He was a vast improvement to the Vortas, but the powers that be said no.
Misunderstood.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Over here, what's your name and your question?
Hi, my name's Aaron. My question is, being of the theater, what is your favorite Shakespearean work and character from that work that you would either have played or would love to play in any future production?
Anybody? Everybody?
I want one more crack at Beatrice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet you were awesome.
It's the most fun, and I've gotten to play it with Joe Spano and Armin Shimmerman and Tony Amendola, so I want another crack at it, and we just got 2 new dogs, and they're called Beatrice and Benedict, and
What kind of dogs are they?
they're dogs.
They're just dogs.
How about you?
Dogs. Well, you know, my favorite play of Shakespeare's, because it's so damn magical and inventive, is Midsummer Night's Dream. I've been in 4 productions of it, and I didn't get to play Puck. I auditioned for a production when I was like 19, and just like with the Vorta, it came down between me and another actor, and I didn't get it. And a good friend of mine, an acting teacher, said, Jeff, by the time you're 30, you will have played Puck so many times, you'll be tired of it. I got to finally play Puck after doing 3 other productions of Midsummer Night's Dream when I was 31. But it was a wonderful production. A role that I've never gotten to play that I would like to, Iago. Tasty.
Tasty. Got it. How about you, Kaitlin, as a musical theater person or as a classical actress?
I love Hamlet, and I would like to have played Hamlet.
Yeah.
That's the role that I wanted to play.
Every man, every woman.
That I did not have the opportunity.
Did you ever see Diana Benora do it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
She was extraordinary.
So I'm kind of on fire about Lear right now. There's 2 plays I'm sort of on fire about. Lear, and if it was Lear, this wouldn't happen. I'm really into poor Tom. I used to hate that character. Now I'm sort of all about him, and I'm like, I think I understand it. And the other thing is I would like to do is, I've always really liked Antony and Cleopatra, and Cleopatra can be old, and it's possible I could still do it.
She could do it.
It's possible.
You know,
No, she should. She should be
The
old.
stage is far enough away.
But she should be old. But
Poor Tom, that's the hardest part in Shakespeare. That's so amazing.
I feel like I understand him way more now, and I would love a crack at it.
Wow, I'm so impressed. I am. I really am.
Here's an obvious plug, but if you're interested in some Shakespeare, Casey Biggs and Vaughn Armstrong and I are going to be doing some excerpts of Shakespeare today.
Really?
Later on, right here.
What are you doing?
We're doing our favorite little bits. Ooh, I want to do that. I want to do that speech. So we're doing, each of us a little villain piece. Some comedy. We do the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. Yes, I play Juliet. And what?
Wow, that's so cool. What time will that be, Jeff? In here?
It's a good question.
On the stage?
Check your schedule.
Check your schedules. All right. Thank you so much.
Definitely don't miss that opportunity.
What time is it? Anybody know? 4:30.
All right, be here.
We'll see you all back here.
Absolutely. Okay, what's your name and your question?
My name is Dee, and my question is for Kaitlin. I'm, as a professor, this has nothing to do with Star Trek, but in our society right now, there's definitely a push against fine arts and liberal studies. And I kind of wanted you to speak to that. It drives me crazy.
It should.
Well, without artists, we don't have humanity. You know, artists are the healers. We're here to heal, to enlighten, to inspire. Storytelling is as old as, human species, and it's how we learn. It's how we learn, and it's how we teach, is through our if we can't be creative problem solvers in any profession, I think that is a missed opportunity. And I think that we fail our young people if we don't teach them how to use their inherent creativity and their imaginations to manifest their destinies and their greatness. And it's through art and music and that we achieve that we do that. So I think being an artist and serving young artists is as important as the air we breathe and the food we eat and the water we drink, because without it, there is no love.
Makes me think. I'm gonna mangle it, but didn't Winston Churchill say something about, there's no better reason to fight wars than to preserve art?
Amen.
It is our humanity, and we live in a society that is so geared towards hustle, money, profit, more of that, and we kind of forget that we need this. We need art of all kinds, otherwise, who are we?
And all of you, there's a reason why you're Star Trek fans, right? There's a reason why everyone in this room is here. And it has to do with the message and the narrative that the Star Trek legacy offers all of us. And it's diversity, and it's inclusion, and it is integrity, and it is trust, and it is collaboration. And that message and that narrative is something that resonates with everyone in this room. And it's through the storytelling in this great legacy of Star Trek that we're blessed to have inhabited these characters, to continue to share that with everyone. So, thank you to all of you for caring about that and for that being important to you.
And I think, because I was a huge original series fan growing up, is that I think also fans, that you have creativity in you and you have a huge sense of imagination, and I think Star Trek, you meet them, you get met where you are, and I think that I think we all have these huge imaginations and are really creative, and I think that is one of the reasons why we're drawn to this universe. And we have the capacity to expand in the way that this universe really expanded.
And I love your list of everything. I would just add one word that was there from the beginning in Star Trek and still is: tolerance for the other.
Yeah.
I love you.
Amen. And I'll add not just tolerance, but cherishing. Truly cherishing.
Yeah. Hey, I want to do a shout out for all the good that that young woman over there has done for the world.
That's very kind.
She picked up the mantle of trying to increase that sort of tolerance, and I really can't appreciate it enough.
Thank you, Kitty. That means
Thank
so
you.
much to
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're doing good work with the coalition. I was just going to say, really, thank you. I was just going to say, how many of you out there saw the amazing Ben Vereen last night, or have a photo op, or an autograph with him today? Ben had a lot to say on the importance of art. In fact, he sang about it last night. And it's just so beautiful. And thank you all for what you just said now. Artists talking about art, I think it's so much of why we are all here. The cherishing of the work that we do as a spiritual thing, as a message. Much more than the actual work is how far it goes into your hearts and souls.
Can I tell a quick story about this?
Yeah.
Liz Berman, Rick Berman, you all know Rick. Rick's wife created through my theater company a writing and acting program with kids who are in the juvenile justice system. And when you see what happens to these young men who've all been arrested, who've all done time, and they have the chance to tell their stories and act, and how many more of them aren't recidivists, how many more of them go to college, how many more of them become responsible parents, or have their families accept that they're gay, or reach across the aisle to people who are from a different gang and a different color, because of what art brings to their lives. Art changes lives. It's everything. Everything.
So well said, Kitty. Thank you. All right. Who's next? Thank you for the question. Over here, what's your name and your question?
Wendell. And I want to say that you truly are artists because of all the Star Trek. I truly love to hate the Vorta.
Let's talk.
My question is for Mr. Combs, actually. About 2 weeks ago, I discovered on Netflix this show called The 4400.
That's great.
And I started watching that, and you truly play a lunatic well.
Well.
But my question is actually, I imagine Ira had something to do with...
Ira had everything to do with it. Ira was the executive producer, head writer for 4400, and I remember a phone call. He said, listen, you're getting a good call from your agents, so, you'll be coming up here. I hope you'll do it. But you have no lines in this episode. It's like the season finale of season 1, I believe. But I had plans, so.
I have plans for lines.
Yeah, for lines later. So Ira is a gift to me. He's a dear friend. Didn't start out that way, but his faith in me and coming to me with things like that is just, I can't even put it into words, but that's a wonderful show and so well written, and I just thank you for your kind words. Appreciate that.
Very nice, thank you. Over here, what's your name and your question?
My name is John. This one's from Molly. You actually did several episodes of Murder, She Wrote, which was one of my guilty pleasures. I'm wondering if you would tell us about working with Angela Lansbury, and also on one of those episodes you played a compulsive liar. Now I'm wondering if that informed your work as a Vorta.
Hey.
I didn't know what I was doing when I was doing the Vorta. I almost broke it down into 2 separate roles because I couldn't marry it all together. And so, and I just watched the episode and went, boy. I mean, like, I speak in a sort of a high voice, and then when I turn evil, I talk to no I mean, it's just, Angela Lansbury is one of the greatest actresses of all time, but she's a great human being. We did a made-for-TV movie together, and then she subsequently, well, she's not the casting director, but she got me for those 2 episodes, and this is a quick story, and I've already told the story before, but I love the story so much. Angela Lansbury, we were mother and daughter in this made-for-TV movie, and my brother, her son, died. And there was a scene where, we were weeping, we're crying, whatever, and I was fine in the master shot, and as the camera kept coming in, by the time it was my close-up, I was terrified, and I had dried up, and because I was so nervous. She was there for me every single take. She's off camera. She doesn't have to, she can be there, but she was full on involved. And so during the break for lunch, I went to her trailer and I knocked on the door and I said, Ms. Lansbury, can I talk to you? And she said, yeah, come on in. So I came in and I said, how are you able to do that over and over and over again? And while you're not even on camera, how is that possible? And she said the kindest thing that took the onus off of me as an actor, and she just went, oh, Molly, when you get older, you have so much more to cry about. Oh. And it ruined me. First of all, it was so kind, because she was saying to me, you're fine, everything's fine. But that sort of humanity, and boy, was she right, as I'm 60 years old now. But it was just so human of her, I thought, and it was so generous of spirit, and I'll just never forget that moment. She was incredibly kind to me from the first moment I ever met her. She was great, and she said this about me. I was like, she said, Molly, you have a believability about you. And I went, that's awesome! Thank you. So, and I lied a lot when I was a child. No, I did not. I'm not a liar. I can't do it.
Wonderful. We've purposely kept this to the Star Trek universe for this panel, but check out these actors' IMDb. It's as long as your arm, and really, all of them with incredible credits on screen and in the theater. It's really something to see. So, but we're just getting through a lot of Star Trek and a lot of questions here. But definitely do that when you've got some time. Over here, what's your name and your question?
My name is Mars, and my question is actually related. Is there a performance from your career that you wish had received more attention?
I think it is.
That's for all of us. Okay, well, there's a thing I called Ringmaster, which is probably a horrible movie, but the character I played was so insane. I was like, I wish that had been a little bit more of something.
I did an episode of a short-lived series on Showtime called Masters of Horror. Ooh. And it was a wonderful script called The Black Cat, and it was the Poe story. But the genius of the script was that Poe, the story is written in first person. I did this, and then I thought that, and then I did this. So they made Poe the protagonist, the person that the cat is tormenting, and Poe is having writer's block, and maybe it's the cat's fault. And that was a genius way to tell the tale of the black cat, as well as lace in all kinds of biographical details about Poe's life, his wife's illness, and his torture process. And I don't think enough people saw it, but I'm very, very, very proud of that, because it was a period piece, which we don't often get to do. And it's Poe, and it's so beautifully shot. The DP was just a gifted genius. It's the last time that I ever worked on film before everybody flipped to digital, and you can tell it's just gorgeous, depth and rich. So yeah, that's my answer.
David Chase, who created The Sopranos, I was a character, I was a guest star on his first show that he was a showrunner on called Almost Grown. There was a little known actor playing, the two leads were a woman named Eve Gordon who's become a lifelong friend. And Eve. And then Tim Daly played her sometimes husband, sometimes ex-husband. And the kick to the show is that we went back and forth from when they were in college to when we were in our 40s. So it was really fun. And the week they made me a series regular. And TV Guide had on the cover the show that nobody's watching that everybody should see. We got canceled. But I love that show because I got to be a hippie chick, and then I got to be like a 40-year-old. It was businesswoman. It was really fun, and the writing was superb, and the actors were Brent Jennings, wonderful, wonderful actors. It was that. I think that was it. That was
Ones that got away here.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I just remember having a regret shortly the year after
9/11. I made my Broadway debut in Noises Off, playing the role of Belinda, and it was such. Thank you. And it was such a great experience. It was such a wonderful cast. Jane Curtin from Saturday Night Live, just some wonderful humans, and because of that moment and people not going to theater and all of that, we only ran for about 4 months. And I just remember being so sad that we didn't have an opportunity to live with that play longer. It's a British farce, it's a wonderful play. And so it's not so much that it didn't get more attention, just that it didn't get to have the life that they had intended it to have.
How many trips to the chiropractor did you do?
So many, running up and down those stairs. Slamming the doors. Yeah, but Byron Jennings and I played opposite each other in that.
Byron Jennings?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Byron.
Such a wonderful actor. We just had a great time. So
5 minutes? Okay.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We'll go quickly through these. Who was next? Over here. Tell me your name and your question. We have time for maybe 2 more.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
Hi.
My question is for Jeffrey. Can I call you that, Mr.
You can call me
Mr. Jeffrey.
anything.
I don't know.
I mean, Jeffrey.
We call a lot of things.
William. Hey, you.
But my question is, since you played so many characters in the Star Trek universe, which one was your favorite to play?
I get this question often. I think of them as my children, and I don't have a favorite. What I love mostly is the difference between them. That's what I'm most proud of. That's what I'm most proud of.
Great, thank you so much. What's your name?
My name is Matthew. Y'all did a really great job at consistently portraying the Vorta as a whole, but probably one of the most oddly rambunctious one was the one portrayed by Iggy Pop. Did you help coach or train him for that?
Oh, hell no. No,
Iggy Pop is that, are you kidding?
Here's the story, because I was in that episode, but as Brunt, the magnificent Ferengi, Iggy was kind of pissed because, first of all, Ira's a huge Iggy fan, so that's how that came about. He just had to have him in there, and he's great in the role of a very sort of different, edgier kind of Vorta, but kind of powerful. But as things go in Star Trek, there was a long delay before we got to Iggy on that particular day, and he was getting pretty restless. Not being a film person, he didn't quite understand that, it's sit and wait. You may be ready, but the universe is not. And so he was, maybe that informed his portrayal, because he was like, maybe it was 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night when it was like an action Iggy, so, but
Armin got home at 4 in the morning that night, and he said
Bingo.
Iggy was really fun.
Yeah, he was great, but it was a long day, and you know how hard it is for me. Here I am in my brunt makeup and the teeth, and I'm going, I play one of these too. He didn't give a shit, okay? He did not care. So it's like, okay.
We are going to unfortunately have to close out this panel, but I want to say one question I have. Will you all be in the dealer's room for autographs and greeting fans?
Yes. Yes, and all the proceeds from any autographs I sign are going to raise scholarship money for my beautiful students to go to college. So please come.
Excellent. Thank you. Make sure you visit all of these actors on social media. Make sure you watch Molly on Walker on the CW in season 2. I want to say thank you so very much to Molly Hagan, Kaitlin Hopkins,